Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to Fridays with Friends. I am Carolyn Ware from Coast to Coast Legal Aid. And today I'm here joined by our guest, Emily Janis, the Education and Prevention Manager at Women in Distress. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Emily, tell me a little bit about Women in Distress.
Sure. So Women in Distress is the only state certified, nationally accredited domestic violence center serving Broward County, Florida. So we're actually part of a statewide network of certified domestic violence centers all throughout the state, but we are the only center serving Broward. And in that, we provide a lot of different services to any survivor of domestic violence. I really like to mention when I talk about us that we don't just serve women, even though that's our name. We do serve men, LGBTQ folks, children, and many more through a lot of different services for survivors.
And what are some of the services provided with sheltering?
Yeah, so shelter is one of our most immediate needs that we meet. So we do have an emergency shelter located in a confidential location in Broward County. It is an emergency shelter, so this isn't long-term stays, but for folks that just need a safe place to stay and then rebuild and work on their goals, we do have that. So they can come with their children by themselves. We actually have a pet shelter component now too, so folks can bring their pets, which is a huge barrier that we were able to break down. And they can stay for typically up to 6 weeks, but we try to work with them. And while they're in shelter, they receive food, they receive everything they need, and they have access to advocates that help them with their case and with their goals.
And do you offer assistance with safety planning? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, safety planning is a really essential piece of what we do throughout all of our services. So even from the first hotline call, when someone reaches out and calls our hotline, first question we ask is, are you in a safe place? And we provide safety planning. And safety planning for us isn't really a checklist. It's not a specific plan that we give folks. It's a conversation around safety. There's a reason that even we use the word survivor. This person's already actively surviving their situation and is keeping themselves safe in the best that we can. So we offer conversations and services on the hotline, in shelter, and in our other services to have conversations around safety, help promote what they're already doing and give them other tips so that they can continue to do what they're doing.
What counseling services are available at Women in Distress?
Yeah, so other than shelter, one of our biggest direct services is counseling. We do have advocates that work in our outreach center that can meet with folks who maybe don't need shelter as an immediate need, or maybe even if they've gone through DV before or previously, or not ready to leave yet, we just need access to that advocate. And they can help a lot with more case management items like trying to get relocation assistance, connection to other community resources. And then we do also have therapy teams. So we have a team of therapists for adults, as well as a team of child and family therapists that can work with folks in a more clinical sense on their emotional well-being and health.
Are the therapists only available to individuals residing in the shelter?
No, so folks can access our therapy services whether they're residing in shelter or not. And again, we know that shelter may not be, domestic. I would say with domestic violence, it really impacts every facet of your life, but in different ways. So each survivor comes to us with a different set of needs and different set of circumstances. So our services are set up in a flexible enough way where folks can access them without having to be in one of them or another. So yes, folks can receive therapy services in shelter or just as that as being their service.
Are there financial assistance opportunities available?
Yeah, so we have some great grant funding and resources where we can offer different financial assistance where folks need, or connect them to other resources that can. We also have an economic empowerment program, which is one of, I think, the biggest needs that we're seeing too. Financial abuse is so often a part of someone's abusive experience, unfortunately. And so they might be coming to seek services from us, not having had a job for a really long time, maybe not having access to their funds if their partner's been, taking away access to bank accounts and different things, even transportation issues. So we do try to work with survivors on, planning for a job, maybe even going back to school, and on direct, more immediate financial assistance.
That's great. Do you guys provide services for children, specialized services at all?
We do, and it's actually, and I think in the last year or in the year before, 60% of our shelter residents were actually children. So we know that domestic violence impacts the entire family, right? And even if the abuse wasn't happening directly towards the child, it doesn't mean that they're not impacted by that environment in the home. So one of the best ways we can support the survivors also by supporting her child. And so we do offer, we do have family advocates who work collaboratively with child welfare personnel, but then we also have advocates and child and family therapists that work directly with children all the way up through teenage years to help them process the experience and get the emotional support that they need as well.
And those services are also available when not in shelter?
Correct. Yeah. And I do want to note too that our therapy and all of these services are absolutely free. So we're really grateful to have a strong donor network, strong grant funders, and strong support from the community where we're able to offer these services to survivors for free. So yeah, that includes shelter, it includes therapy, and neither of those are mutually exclusive.
How does one contact women in distress?
So the best way to get in contact with us is our crisis hotline. And I'm happy to list that out. I think we can share it probably as well. It's 954-761-1133. This is a 24/7, 365 hotline. There are live advocates answering the phone. We have folks that speak various languages like Spanish and Creole and even Portuguese. And we also have access to a language line. So that is the best way to get in touch with us, whether you're a survivor looking for services, or even a family or friend or community member who wants to learn more or wants to know, how to support or just kind of get some more information.
If you think that somebody may be in a dangerous situation or maybe a victim of domestic violence, what should you do?
Yeah, I think this is a really big piece of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is this month, is all of us getting involved, because this really is a community issue. I think for a while it was seen as like a private, separate thing that we're kind of scared of. And I think really where we're going to start to see change is when us as a community gets involved. So it can be scary. And I always tell folks, you don't need to be a trained advocate to be a friend or a supportive system. So I recommend, if you notice red flags, if something even seems off about someone, their behavior is changing, they're more isolated, you don't see them as much, you're seeing some of these red flags, check in with them. And often the best way to ask is just, how's your relationship going? How are you? I'm a little worried about you, and list those things. If you're really scared about their immediate danger, it might be a better kind of thing to be more immediate and say, are you being abused? Are you okay at home? Are you safe? But often folks might get defensive, or even when folks are going through emotional abuse, they might not consider in the moment that what's happening to them is abuse, and they might not be ready to share that. So I always recommend just checking in with folks. And then if they do disclose or if they need additional support, that's when you refer to the hotline, you refer to other resources. Because like I said, we don't expect you to be an advocate. And one thing about that too is just do a warm handoff. We never want to just hand someone a phone number and say, hey, call this, right? It's hey, I heard this Facebook Live. I heard about this. I really care about you. I'm worried. Do you want to call together? Do you feel safe calling on your phone, or do you want to call on my phone? You want me to call first and put it on speaker so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to be like, right? There are lots of ways we could show up for folks and try to connect them to the help that they need without having to, directly intervene or put ourselves in any sort of strange position.
Those are great recommendations, great ideas. Can we volunteer at Women in Distress? How do we find out about those opportunities?
Yeah, that's another really great way to support what's happening with supporting survivors in the community, is getting involved with us. So the pandemic sort of disrupted our normal volunteer opportunities. We're working on building those back. We do have some information about that on our website, womenindistress.org. But one or kind of two major immediate things that we're looking for is we're always looking for thrift store volunteers. So if you're interested, it's not super glamorous, but our thrift store is in Margate, and we're always looking for extra assistance there, which you can look more about on our website as well. And then we do some annual drives, like our holiday drive, our recent back to school drive. We do a Thanksgiving food drive, where we always need community groups of volunteers to help us pack and distribute those things to our families. So if you're interested in that, you can contact the volunteer DEPT, department for short, at womenindistress.org, and we can get back to you about coordinating that.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I was wondering if Women in Distress is taking part in any programs or special events that we could share with our Facebook community.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get my list up. We do a few things for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Last night, we actually had a virtual candlelight vigil. It's still posted on our Facebook page. So if you'd like to go through that vigil yourself at any time, or just kind of get a better sense of sort of the rawest meaning of this work, you can participate in that. That was in collaboration with the Broward DV Council and the Broward Victims' Rights Coalition. The next major thing we're doing is next Thursday, October 14th. We're going to have a domestic violence virtual symposium training. So this is primarily geared towards professionals, but if you're a community member that's just looking to learn more about domestic violence, feel free to register. It's a free training. We're going to have multiple speakers in different sessions. And so that's a really great opportunity to learn more about domestic violence and what it looks like for survivors. And then on October 23rd, which is a Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m., we're going to be in Deerfield Beach at Zion Lutheran Church doing a community resource and art fair. So that's going to be a really awesome way for folks to show up and get some other resources, learn a little bit about domestic violence, and hear from survivors and families and friends through art and performances about their experience. We'll also have some family-friendly activities like pumpkin painting. So we hope you can stop by between 2 and 5 on that day.
Sounds like a great event for the whole family.
Absolutely. We hope to see you there.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Emily. We want to remind everybody how to reach Women in Distress for Services. Their website, their contact information will be posted in the comments so you get more information. And again, we went over what is the best way for clients to reach you?
The absolute best way is the crisis hotline, which sounds like it'll be posted, but that's 24/7, 365. And know that there are folks in the community that are here to help. I think even doing events like this just really shows that people care, not just domestic violence agencies, but there are supports out there. And we really want you to get help if you need help. So please don't feel afraid to reach out.
Thank you for joining us today, Emily.
Telling
us more about your services. And thank you everyone for watching and tuning in to Fridays with Friends on every other Friday at noon. Link will be posted, their links and information will be posted in the comments and how to apply online for Coast to Coast Services and how to reach women in distress. Please remember to like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Coast to Coast Legal Aid for other important updates. We're live every other Friday at noon to bring you updates and information about local services from our Broward community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This was wonderful. I appreciate all your work in the community.
Yeah. Have a good day.